who's the new guy.
I'm sorry.
Who are you?
With one of the best rogues galleries in all of comicdom, you know when the Spider-Folk get together, they're gonna have a sweet collection of bad guys. In Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse, that collection went deep and skewed weird. How weird? Well, for the Marvel main universe, the Age of Heroes lines up with right about now. Or, according to the sliding timescale, about 13 years ago from whenever now is. But other universes have the whole parade happening at different times. Like Earth 311, which has the Age of Heroes in 1602. For that reality, Vulture is more of a position than a dude. Our first villain out of their own reality we meet is a Renaissance-era Vulture trapped in Spider-Gwen's reality. With the help of Miguel O'Hara and Jessica Drew, Gwen brings the out-of-place Vulture down to wait his turn to be shunted back to his own reality. We all have that one friend who is a little too into fonts and refers to them as nice faces, then explains the difference between a typeface and a font. We all also secretly think that person might be one bad day away from being a supervillain. Like signmaker Gordon Thomas, who became the villain Typeface when his sign shop closed down. No unethical experiment or alien beings. He just made a few sharp letters and some Scrabble tiles that explode and caused crime until a heel turn made him a vigilante. Either way, he ended up in the Spider Society's involuntary waiting room. No doubt by now you've played the trailer for Sony's third installment of Spider-Man-less Spider-Man movies, following the Venom movies and Morbius. Is that shot of him with spiders a hint at one of the greatest Spider-Man stories ever, Kraven's Last Hunt? Probably not, but we're that much closer. Sergei Kravenov, aka Kraven the Hunter, who will be portrayed by former Quicksilver Aaron Taylor Johnson, is seen impatiently biding his time before being sent home. Some people are born into greatness. Some people are thrust into it, and still some others utilize their vast knowledge of special effects and illusions to create the impression of greatness to get in on some of that sweet, sweet superhero supervillain cloud. Like Quentin Beck, who took those same skills and created the villainous persona Mysterio. Don't underestimate the faker, though. In the comics, he managed to trick Wolverine into killing the X-Men via his illusions. Mysterio took a bow, setting into motion the action of Spider-Man No Way Home when, with the help of J. Jonah, he revealed to the world Peter Parker was Spider-Man. It's not that Mysterio that's in the Spider Society's holding facility, but that one is likely up to no good as well. If you're new to the whole Spider-Verse thing, you might think it all begins with Miles and Gwen tripping through the multiverse fantastic. But longtime fans knew who was going to be number 4 on the Spider-Man multiverse call list. The one, the only, Spider-Ham.
I just washed my hands. That's why they're wet.
Spider-Ham, aka Peter Porker, was a spider bit by a radioactive pig, turning him into Spider-Ham. He fought equally punny beings, like Mooseterio. That's naturally Mysterio, but a cartoon moose, for reasons. Speaking of that Kraven the Hunter trailer, it looks like Rhino is getting another go at the big screen after being half portrayed by Paul Giamatti in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, right before cutting to credits. In The Amazing Spider-Man, Alexei Sistievich gets a Rhino-like suit of power armor. In other realities, like Sony's live-action so far Spider-Man-less Spider-Verse, he's a product of one of Silver Age Comics' signature unethical scientific experimentations, giving him tough skin, strength, and size, and a spot in the Spider Society's holding facility. Being the thorough people they are, the Spider Society has also captured an out-of-reality regular old rhinoceros. Is it one that broke out of a zoo and menaced Spider-Man? From a reality where the effect was more thorough on Alexei Sistievich? Is it from a Eugene Ionesco-themed world where everyone one by one turns into rhinoceroses in a post-war critique of conformity and mob mentality, making theater of the absurd part of the multiverse? I'm choosing the last one. The third iteration of the villain Grizzly has it all when it comes to Spider-Man. Powers loosely inspired by another fierce creature, he was a professional wrestler, which was Peter Parker's first thought when he got spider powers, and he has beef with J. Jonah Jameson that lost him his wrestling gig. His grizzliness comes from a suit, but that suit didn't keep him out of the Spider Society's holding cells. Spider-Man hasn't just had 4 different film franchises, he's also had some of the most iconic superhero cartoons. From the crude animation and bangin' theme of the 1967 cartoon, Spider-Man the animated series of the 90s, and of course Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. It was in that cartoon that Electro created Videoman out of a video game because 80s. Because Fabric of Space-Time, he ended up in the Spider Society holding. Green Goblin wasn't absent from the proceedings, but for a signature foe, they dug deep, all the way back to the heady early days of home video games and the first ever Spider-Man home game, Spider-Man for the Atari 2600. Not known for its graphic abilities, the Atari 2600 version of Green Goblin is little more than a green and black pixel stick figure on a stick figure flyer, waiting and holding to be sent back to someone's nostalgia-themed video game room. Norman Osborn, aka the Green Goblin, might be Spider-Man's signature villain, what with him being the father of Peter's best friend, quintessential Spider-Man villain stuff, but Doctor Octopus would be a strong contender for that role as well. He's even dated Aunt May. Seriously. Several Doc Ocks are in holding, including one who appears to like the pirate life. Sometimes hating Spider-Man becomes a family affair. Janice Lincoln is the daughter of Spidey villain Tombstone, who got the Beetle suit from Baron Zemo to take down Bucky Barnes, who was filling in as Captain America. Keeping the alternate identity baddie train rolling, she joined and later led the Sinister Six that fought Superior Spider-Man, which was Otto Octavius trying to prove he could be a better Spider-Man. Janice apparently slipped out of her reality and into the hands of the Spider Society. Remember how they were all being coy about Kingpin's involvement in Hawkeye, constantly referring to him as the big man? Well, for someone in the know of Marvel's New York, that might be confusing because there is a themed crime lord who goes by Big Man. Dating all the way back to 1964, this crime boss with a costume found himself holed up by the Spider Society. Miles Morales, in a way, owes his very existence to Donald Glover. A social media campaign to get the superstar superfan cast as Spider-Man didn't land Donald Glover the role as Spider-Man, but it did inspire the creation of Miles Morales, complete with his community character's appearance in Spider-Man Underoos influencing the look. Glover has gone on to voice the character he inspired, as well as be a cool Easter egg and hint that Miles exists in the MCU when he appeared as Aaron Davis in Spider-Man Homecoming, even referencing his nephew. But while he was up to no good, he wasn't up to costume level no good. That is, until he was caught by the Spider Society. Donald Glover appears twice in his Prowler gear, waiting his turn on the go-home machine. If they capture people from the live-action universes like Donald Glover's Prowler, you have to imagine that Michael Keaton's Vulture has to be on that wrong universe list. Maybe that's how he knew so much about the multiverse as Batman.